Seoul quarterback Dan Roteball came into the last game with just 5 interceptions on the entire season. And in the first half, he threw 3. And yet the Seoul win again. They were not forced to walk the plank. Walk the Plank is presented by Foods Galore, preferred food supplier for Chickies and Pete's since the start. Bargain Car, Truck and Van Rental in Brookhaven, Broomall, and Chadds Ford. Bradford White Water Heaters, the official water heater of the Philadelphia Soul. Geno's Steaks, the best cheesesteaks in Philadelphia since 1966. Susquehanna Bank, the preferred banking partner of the Philadelphia Soul. Valley Forge Casino Resort, located just 2 minutes from the King of Prussia Mall on North Gulf Road. And by Bud Light. Here we go. Hey, welcome to another edition of Walk the Plank with Doug Plank. It's the Philadelphia Soul Coaches Show, and you get to meet the players as well. Phil Hughley will be here today. Ed Barkowitz will join us from the Philadelphia Daily News as well. And Doug Plank, of course. You reached the midpoint of your first season here in Philadelphia, yes, Doug, with a glittery record of 7-2. And I think that's significant because all of last year, the Soul only won 6 games in 18. So in one half of the season, you've eclipsed last year's win record.
You know, there's something about when you have the right players, though, and the right atmosphere and the right attitude. You know, everyone had high expectations for this team early on. But, you know, it's not as easy as you think. Anyone can have expectations. But when you bring people together for the first time that have never played with each other, there's some dynamics you have to work out, attitudes and relationships and all those sort of things, on top of all the ordinary football stuff. But I'm pleased with where our team is at right now. We are not finished. We are still continuing to improve and try to work on things that'll make us a better team by the end of the year.
Walk the Plank, presented every week now by Foods Galore, our primary sponsor here on television, featuring their new Artisan Pride of their exclusive meat products that we'll be telling you about in the course of the show every week. So let's take a look at the line score from the Soul's latest win. Here it is, this time down at the Wells Fargo Center. We hope you were there in person to enjoy it with us, as the Soul, struggling a little bit at the halftime, explode in the second half with 35 points. 56-38 is the final, Doug, as your defense takes control in the second half. And you have retooled a lot of that defense. Let's take a look at some of the Budweiser Light highlights. Here we go. You're going with a little more speed and athleticism, it looks like, now on the defensive side.
Yeah, we just feel like pass defense begins on the line of scrimmage. And we feel like the faster we can get to the quarterback, albeit our defensive line and linebackers, we're going to be a better defense. So we've just worked on this over the course of the last couple weeks. And it's only because when things don't work, whether it's in a business or in a sports team, you got to make changes. You got to find the right combination for your team, and that's all we're doing right now for the Soul.
You put some new people in there. Perry moves in at defensive back, but your other 2 defensive backs are ball hawks. And Kent Richardson now second in the league in interceptions with 2 interceptions in this game along, and Kaiser picks one off as well.
Well, the bottom line is it's great to get stops on downs, but that's so hard to do. 4 downs in any league, but especially this one, which is leaning so much towards the offense. So I try to think up defenses that are going to put our players in position to get interceptions. So far it's worked. Our players have really bought in with it. And so, you know, our position is we may not stop you on 4 downs, but we're going to try to get that ball if it goes up in the air.
Let's take a look at Dan Roteball, his night. Your quarterback has had only, to my account, 3 bad halves all year. But in each of those games, the bulk of his interceptions have come from there. He had 2 in one game, 2 in another. And in this one, uncharacteristically, 3 interceptions in the first half against Jacksonville.
You know, sometimes when you get when you have a bad play go against you, you start pressing and you start pushing things. And sometimes you start seeing things that really aren't there. And I think that's kind of what happened with Dan. But all the players and coaches are 100% behind Dan. You know, he's our guy. He's the guy that's going to take this football team as far as it possibly can. So I mean, he's been a great leader on our football team, and you know he'll learn from this experience.
And like your team, Dan, like your team, tested at the half, as you were at Orlando. You make some adjustments and turn that second half around. What was it that you did?
Well, number one, it was, offensively, we stopped turning the ball over. That's a big thing. But defensively, we still felt like there were still opportunities that we left out there on the field. We gave up some long plays again, which kept us from taking that team down into the red zone and forcing them to score touchdowns. So it's just some minor adjustments. I'm not going to act like I'm some kind of expert because I'm not. We just challenged the players to play harder, and it bore fruit in the second half.
Well, one of the things that you did, you had Brandon Perkins back at linebacker, and he shadowed a very active quarterback and did a good job of keeping him in the pocket.
There's no question. I truly believe that it's the pass rush in arena football that's going to dictate success on defense. The job that Perkins did this last week was outstanding. Running over guys, moving around them, his energy definitely affected the other players.
Next up on the schedule is a Friday night game, this coming Friday night in Spokane, Washington, and we'll have that for you live. But the next time we're back in the Wells Fargo Center, we'd really like to see you come out and follow your Soul. Hopefully 8-2 by June 2nd when the Soul come back home to take on that Orlando team that always gives them fits. In fact, they led the Soul into the fourth quarter the last time we saw them down there. When we come back, Jeff Hughley, a dynamo now, third in the league in overall yardage, had an explosive game this week. We'll talk with him and Perkins right after this on Walk the Plank.
Hi, this is Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Chicky and Pete's has been recognized as the best sports bar in North America. We couldn't have done it without you, our loyal fans. The Philadelphia sports fan wears their heart on their sleeve and has the enthusiasm like no other city in America. So at this time, we'd like to thank you for supporting your teams and supporting us at Chicky and Pete's, making us number one. Come down to Chicky and Pete's at Packer Avenue and see the trophy for being the number one sports bar in North America. We'll see you here at Chicky and Pete's.
If you've been seriously injured in an auto accident, remember this name. If you're being pressured by the insurance company to take a settlement that isn't fair, remember this name. If you need someone to fight for you to get the money you deserve, remember this name, Lundy Law. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW. Winning millions for clients in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware for over 50 years.
We got this!
7 wins in their first 9 games. The best record in all of the Arena League at midseason. Heading towards another title, your Philadelphia Soul. Be there for their next home showing, Saturday, June 2 at the Wells Fargo Center.
We got this!
You have 25 hours of things to do every day and just 24 hours to do them. Finding time to manage your money can be a chore. Susquehanna Bank offers a variety of checking options to help. Whether you're on the road, at home, or anywhere in between. And even though convenience is its own reward, it's just one of the many we offer. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts for busy people like you. Member FDIC.
Scott, he's doing a great job for us, whether it be the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicky and Pete's as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
And welcome back to Walk the Plank, presented by Foods Galore, our primary sponsor, Bud Light. Here we go, player segment here of the Souls Coaches Show. Coming off another win to go to 7-2 now in the season at the midpoint. My special guests this week, one from defense and one from offense, Brandon Perkins, back in the lineup for the first time in 5 games with 3.5 tackles, 2, and I'm going to call it 3 sacks, and a huge role in containing a running quarterback. And Jeff Hughley back on the show for the second time. after a second consecutive week in which he catches 7 balls for 121 yards and 3 touchdowns, now the number 3 man in all-purpose yardage in all of the AFL. But it starts on defense, my friend. You had a running quarterback, and they assigned you to kind of spy this guy Morris and not let him beat you with his wheels, right?
Right. Our biggest thing coming into was lanes. Making sure everybody stayed in their lane, collapsed the pocket, and reacted to his actions.
Now here's what you do. Now here's a play. He's already burned you for a 25-yard scramble. Now look at this. It's not a sack, but you slide off the blocker and make the tackle for about a half-yard gain. And on the very next play, you come all the way through and make the sack.
Right. The biggest thing on that one was just rushing with my eyes, as well as my feet. So I saw that he tried to break up the middle. I reacted to it and made a nice play for the defense. And on the next play, it was just, trying to continue the momentum that we had going, and finish the drive off.
Jeff, you had to appreciate that because the offense had its problems in the first half. In fact, there was one ball that it looked like you had in the end zone for a touchdown, and you kind of lost it.
Right. Well, basically on that play, I was just trying to be too quick with my hands and didn't really secure it all the way. And as the defender came, he knocked up against the wall, and he made a great play, took advantage of the situation. But just the stops that we stopped for ourselves is we can't do that for the rest of the season. And our defense was playing great for the past couple of weeks and saving our tail. You know what I mean? So we just gotta really go back to the drawing board and figure out and be more consistent.
It started great, Jeff. Look this. The first 2 plays of the game, they go quick screen to you on the right side, and then they come back in this little pump fake, and there you are long for the 34-yard bomb.
Yeah, we know the field corner was a quick trigger guy, so we just gave him a little pump fake, and I just had to avoid him, and then it was easy throw and catch.
And then late in the game, and we heard Dan Rotteball make the call on our wireless mic. This is a beautiful ball, and the spiral's coming down to you, but you still had to reach out and make a nice grab.
Right. And the thing about it is, I was looking at it, and it was so pretty that I was like, "Ooh, please don't let me drop this ball." So I was able to get to it and make a good play on it.
That's the worst kind of pressure, isn't it? When you're that wide open.
Yes, most definitely.
Brandon, you played your college ball at the Kansas Jayhawks.
Correct.
You're a linebacker there as well?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And how are you enjoying life in Philadelphia?
Oh, it's definitely a new experience. Last year, it took some time, getting around the city, enjoying myself. This year, I'm kind of more laid back, just soaking in the football aspect of it this year and just trying to get after it on the gridiron.
Nice.
Right.
And for you, a sweet win over Jacksonville, the team where you won an Arena Bowl a year ago.
Yeah, I wasn't really looking at it as playing against. Yeah, most definitely. I was just looking at it as we needed this win because it's the halfway point of our season, and we're just trying to carry the momentum for the next half of the season. You know what I mean?
Now we got to talk about this, guys, because we've had Tiger Jones on here, and he spends a lot of time in the end zone, so he's got a lot of good end zone moves. You did a fine job yourself. Right. But last week we had Zip Duncan sitting right here, the big tight end, and we said, Zip, if you ever get into the end zone, you got something ready for us? And Brandon, how would you appraise his end zone celebration?
I couldn't even see
No
it.
words for it, are there? Because there was none.
I'm gonna say I couldn't see it.
And Jeff, maybe you could tell me what Derek Ross is doing out at midfield
He just
when he scores.
I mean, he just feel like he could mow the line. He's bullying everybody over. That's his signature. So I guess that's what that means.
He's cutting them all down.
He's cutting them all down, rolling them over.
Now I understand it.
Right.
Congratulations. Guys, at the midway point of the season now, you're 7-2, and Brandon, that's more wins than you had all last year.
Right. We're a different ball club this year.
I can tell.
Everybody has that focus. We're trying to get to New Orleans this year. You know what I mean? And we know it's going to take a lot of preparation. And the coaches do a good job of that throughout the week. We just got to go out and execute.
Well, you keep up the great job on defense, and Mr. Hewley, you just put up 121 every week and 3 touchdowns, and I think everyone will be very happy.
Most definitely, me too.
Brandon Perkins, Jeff Hewley. And when we come back, we'll talk with one of the members of the Philadelphia media, Ed Barkowitz. But we want you to know the next Soul game comes up this Friday night, late night. But I know you're up on a Friday night at 11 o'clock. You can watch us live as the Soul go to Spokane, Washington, and take on the Shock. We'll see you then, but we'll be right back.
Scott, he's doing a great job for us, whether it be, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicky and Pete's as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
We got this.
7 wins in their first 9 games. The best record in all of the Arena League at midseason. Heading towards another title, your Philadelphia Soul. Be there for their next home showing, Saturday, June 2 at the Wells Fargo Center.
We got this.
I do a lot of weird stuff to save money.
Carpooling.
We clip coupons. Coupons.
You gotta eat leftovers, man. You got to.
Susquehanna Bank knows you're always looking for ways to save money.
Well, I eat in a lot more than I used to.
I use this to get places.
I buy generic everything. We use those swirly light bulbs.
You work hard for your money, and Susquehanna can help you keep more of it with free checking. Open your account today. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts. Member FDIC.
If you've been seriously injured in an auto accident, remember this name. If you're being pressured by the insurance company to take a settlement that isn't fair, remember this name. If you need someone to fight for you to get the money you deserve, remember this name. Lundy Law. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW. Winning millions for clients in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware for over 50 years.
So, Mr. Jaworski, we wanted to show you the new packaging for Goldenberg's Peanut Chews. Of course, it still has the same original chewy, chocolatey, peanutty taste. Would you like to try one?
Sure.
So?
Man, these are really good. What? Now that's chewing it old school.
Hi, this is Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Chicky and Pete's has been recognized as the best sports bar in North America. We couldn't have done it without you, our loyal fans. You know, the Philadelphia sports fan wears their heart on their sleeve and has the enthusiasm like no other city in America. So at this time, we'd like to thank you for supporting your teams and supporting us at Chicky and Pete's, making us #1. Come down to Chicky and Pete's at Packer Avenue and see the trophy for being the #1 sports bar in North America. We'll see you here at Chicky and Pete's.
Here we are on 1st and 10 to the middle and broken up and intercepted by Kent Richardson's his 6th pick of the year. A huge play. I thought it might be touchdown shark, instead it's turnover. You're watching Walk the Plank right here on Comcast Sportsnet and the Comcast Network, presented by Foods Galore. And you just saw one of 4 interceptions by Doug Plank's team as they win last week against the defending champions from Jacksonville, and they called 8 stops they caused against the team. Ed Barkowitz joining us from the Daily News, who's all over the sports beat these days, and just off the Flyers beat, so a little more time to spend with the Soul. Ed, clearly the Soul hit the midpoint this year at 7-2, and that's more games than they won all last year. Are you seeing much of a difference?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest difference to me is offensively, where last year they had some trouble literally snapping the ball. Even if the defense does not play as well as it's playing, they have a lot of competency on offense. I mean, you know, behind Clint Ozell's, the schemes that he runs, and Dan Radaball, and certainly the wide receivers. I think it's amazing, though, the scoring, and their offensive capability without Donovan Morgan being in the lineup for the last month or so. It really speaks to the depth of the wide receivers.
And look at the balance that it showed this week with Hughley with 7 catches, Jones with 7 catches, and Salmons with 6. That's what you're looking for, of course, aside from the 3 interceptions. Is this team, in your estimation, good enough to win it all?
Well, I think so. I mean, I think the league is heavy in the other conference. I think Chicago and Arizona and San Jose.
Utah.
And Utah. I think that they are right now, they have to be the favorite in this conference. They're going to play some of those teams, you know, down the road. In fact, they finished the season with Utah in an important game. They have travel out to Spokane. And Doug, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. You're beginning a stretch now of 4 road games, 4 of your next 5 on the road. Talk about how important that is in setting up for the stretch run.
Well, there's no doubt. I truly believe the middle of the season really kind of identifies and dictates your season, because yes, it's important at the beginning, but you're so far from the end. And yes, you always want to have momentum at the end of the season, but nobody really focuses on the middle of the season. And that's why I've been just pounding this over and over and over again. Now, we've been very fortunate. We have not lost a game on the road. For whatever reason, every team is different. You know, we've lost our games at home, not on the road. This team seems to love the road. So they're going to get a chance to enjoy a lot of it this weekend when we go to the West Coast and play Spokane.
Ed, were you here in 08 when the team won the Arena Bowl? Did you cover the game a little? Cover the game a little bit?
Yep.
Do you see any comparisons between the two? That was a championship team.
The ability to score anytime they had the ball, which, you know, again, we talk about the difference in traditional football and this. There is no bad field position in the NFL, but there's also danger. And when Graziani and the other quarterback, when they had the ball, they were a threat to score. And Doug coached against some of those teams. What this team has that team didn't have, and a lot of AFL teams, they have a running threat. They have Derrick Ross. They have a guy who is a legitimate. Presents defenses problems that they don't normally get in the other 17 games that they play.
And they don't like to tackle that guy when he gets up ahead of steam. They really don't. They don't like sticking their nose in there.
No. He's like Christian McCoy, for God's sakes.
Although, listen, he
didn't like it, but
Jimmy Giles will tell you about him. Ed Barkowitz from the Daily News. Thanks for joining us again here on Walk the Plank. Doug, we'll be right back to talk with one of our friends from the Soul. We're telling you about our next road game. That's at Spokane, and you'll be able to see it right here on the Comcast networks at 11 o'clock Friday night. And the next home game, June 2nd, right here against Orlando. Be sure to get your tickets and join us then.
If you've been seriously injured in an auto accident, remember this name. If you're being pressured by the insurance company to take a settlement that isn't fair, remember this name. If you need someone to fight for you to get the money you deserve, remember this name. Lundy Law. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW. Winning millions for clients in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware for over 50 years.
We got this!
7 wins in their first 9 games. The best record in all of the Arena League at midseason. Heading towards another title, your Philadelphia Soul. Be there for their next home showing, Saturday, June 2 at the Wells Fargo Center.
We got this!
Scott, he's doing a great job for us, whether it be, you know, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicky and Pete's as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
So, Mr. Jaworski, we wanted to show you the new packaging for Goldenberg's Peanut Chews. Of course, it still has the same original chewy, chocolatey, peanutty taste. Would you like to try one?
Sure.
So?
Man, these are really good. Mm-hmm. What? Now that's chewing it old school.
So, injury report brought to you by 1-800-LUNDY-LAW for Friday's game at Spokane that you can watch right here on the Comcast network. Clark out again, Brackens out again, Dusty Bear shut down for 3 more weeks. Donovan Morgan probably won't make the trip. Dustin Barno probably will. Injury report brought to you by 1-800-LUNDY-LAW, injury and disability lawyers serving PA, NJ, and Delaware. Lundy Law, the official law firm of the Philadelphia Soul. And welcome back to Walk the Plank, the Soul Show at Chicky and the Pete's with Doug Plank. And with Scotty Kindness of Foods Galore, our presenting sponsor, and now the official marketers of their own beef, their own turkey, and their own ham. It's part of the show, Artisan's Pride. Give the hand off to Scotty right there, baby.
I like that.
What's the big deal about that stuff?
Well, we created the Artisan's Pride line to compete with the Boar's Heads and the Dietz and Watsons of the world. gourmet style lunch meat, but at about $1.50 a pound less.
Wow, that's a nice gesture. Significant savings there.
Yes.
Now, here's what we're going to do. In future weeks, I propose to give away the ham of the week to the Soul's Best End Zone Dance.
I like
What do you
that.
think?
I love it. I like that.
And then we
Ham
can
of
work.
the week.
And then we can work on Turkey of the Week.
Who's going to get the turkey of the week?
Let's
I like
hope
it,
it's
yeah.
not the coach.
And the beef. How about the beef?
I know guys that can eat that in one sitting.
Sure, just put a roll on that baby.
That would be a great weekly award.
That'd be a sandwich.
Scotty, you know, we did that nice commercial with you and with Pete right here at Chicky and Pizza's running, and we thank you for your sponsorship of the Soul.
We love being a part of the Soul. It's a great program, and as I told you earlier, I took my kids to a game a couple weeks ago and had to drag them out of there. They just had a blast.
That's super.
Especially my 3-year-old daughter.
That's
But my
great.
son will be the hard one to get out.
And the Foods Galore hot dogs giveaway as well down
Good
at
hot
the Wells
dogs.
Fargo Center. Doug, we're taking the team to Spokane this weekend. We'll see you there.
Yep.
Nice
Be a long
job.
trip. Look forward to it.
Yep, and you'll be able to watch it right here on the Comcast Network, 11 o'clock on Friday night. And then we want to tell you about the next time we are home, June 2nd. We'd like to see you at the Wells Fargo Center. And also to go on Facebook and like the Soul. And if you do, you're automatically entered to win a free trip to Arena Bowl 25 coming up this summer. And if you've got a birthday coming up, celebrate your big day with the Soul. Club box seats, 3 free tickets, face painting, the Soul Man, and more. All of this information by calling the Soul at 888-789-SOUL or going to PhiladelphiaSoul.com. Now for Scotty Kindness and Foods Galore, the presenting sponsor of our show, Pete Chiraki, one of our owners, Doug Plank, our coach. We'll see you in Seattle Friday night and right back here next week for Walk the Plank. Walk the Plank is presented by Foods Galore, preferred food supplier for Chickies and Pete's since the start. Bargain Car, Truck and Van Rental in Brookhaven, Broomall, and Chadds Ford. Bradford White Water Heaters, the official water heater of the Philadelphia Soul. Geno's Steaks, the best cheesesteaks in Philadelphia since 1966. Susquehanna Bank, the preferred banking partner of the Philadelphia Soul. Valley Forge Casino Resort, located just 2 minutes from the King of Prussia Mall on North Gulf Road. And by Bud Light. Here we go.
Throws for it and nearly intercepted by Kaiser. Has it. Kaiser rips it away. The 20, the 10, touchdown Kaiser. Another huge defensive play. Starting first and goal from the 5. Floating it to the end zone. Picked off again. Richardson, second of the night. Third for the Soul. Staving off a possible Jacksonville touchdown.